All right, good morning and welcome back to another boat build video. In this one, we are moving on to building something that I am very excited about. I think in this video, I have a good idea. I've never seen it done before, and I don't really know why it hasn't been done before. It almost gives me the feeling like maybe it's too good to be true. Maybe I'm gonna be not so optimistic about my brilliant idea by the end of this video. So, Jacob, spit it out. What are we building? As cool as this boat is, it's pretty much gonna be useless unless we build something on the roof of the boat to lift heavy weight in and out of the boat. We're gonna be doing purse seining with this boat, and when we do that, we need to lift big bags of fish out of the water into the boat. We need to lift barrels of fish back out of the boat onto land. We need to lift our 800-pound tuna that we catch this September to win the bluefin tuna tournament. So what I'm trying to say is that this boat essentially can't do what I'm building it to do unless we build some kind of system to do some heavy lifting for us. The goal of this video is to build a mast and boom setup that's gonna go on the roof, and it's gonna do all the heavy lifting for the commercial fishing activities and fun activities that we're gonna be doing in this boat. As you can see behind me, the roof is just flat right now. There's nothing up here. What we need to do is we need to stand a mast in the center of the roof. That mast needs to go up somewhere around 10 feet tall to enable us to install some booms. I want to put 2 booms in this boat. Currently in my boat that I have now, I have 1 boom. And when we go purse seining, that 1 boom kind of has to do all the jobs. And it's a little bit annoying because you're always having to switch attachments. We have multiple different attachments that we use when we're purse seining, the brailer, the power block, and we're constantly having to juggle around. And it's just an extra step in a chaotic day. And we have to make that change during the chaos of the purse seine being out. So just having 2 booms, one designated for taking the fish out of the water and one designated for handling the net, will be 1 step removed. And the goal is to simplify operations as much as possible, make work fun and not stressful. Take as much work out of it as we can so it feels like play. And I'm going to attempt to build the entire thing myself. I have built a few of these over the years, and I've helped my dad build a few of them over the years for our boats and other boats. So I got a little bit of experience building them, but none quite as large as this one. First order of business is to call up the steel shop and get a big list of aluminum ordered. I have a feeling that this is not going to be a cheap phone call. I don't even know what to expect here, but here's my list of stuff that we gotta get. Then we gotta try to get a trailer up there and get it all on the trailer, and then we gotta get it back and weld it all together and hope that it all works. Let's see what the damage is gonna be.
Good afternoon, this is Bangor Steel.
Hi, I was looking to get a quote put together for some, it's mostly a bunch of aluminum and a little bit of stainless.
Alrighty, we'll be in touch with you sometime this afternoon.
Okay, awesome, thanks a lot. So this pipe here is the base of the mast. This is where the booms get attached, and traditionally our booms get attached through like some kind of gooseneck system. Every one of them's a little different. The ones that we did on my boat and Dad's boat, we kind of copied some other designs and made our own design. And I'm not a fan of how we did those ones. The hinge ends up being like 6 inches behind the mast. So when you turn the boom sideways, you're pushing sideways onto the mast, and all of the strain, like when we're brailing, when we're lifting fish out of the water, all of the strain is pushing sideways on that gooseneck hitch rather than pushing directly into the mast. So it's like trying to, not only is it twisting the mast and applying a twisting force to the mast, but it's also putting a big sideways load on that gooseneck. Ideally, no matter what the boom angle is, the boom is pushing directly center into the mast, is my thinking. So my thinking is that if I can get a piece of pipe that will slide down over the mast, and this is probably not a new idea, I'm sure this has been done probably all over the world. My thinking is that if we can get a pipe that will slide on over this mast in like a collar, a ring collar, and I could do like 2 8-inch sections, then I can attach the booms to those collars, and those collars can swivel around the mast. So that way, no matter what the boom angle is, the whole entire collar swivels on the mast and is always pushing directly into the mast. And there's never any kind of twisting or side loading on any of the components. So this pipe is going to serve as the swivel that allows the 2 booms to turn on the mast. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. This is a really cool design. Well, I think it's a really cool design. On paper and on the CAD program, it looks really cool, and in my head it seems like it's a no-brainer. It almost seems too good to be true. I've never seen this done on a lobster boat mast and boom setup before, and I don't really know why. It seems like a much better setup than the way that we currently do them. I'll go more in depth on that later in the video, and I'll explain more on the design and the setup when I'm back in the garage out of the rain. But for now, all you need to know is that this piece of pipe needs to slide down over the 8-inch mast. The mast itself is the part that stands upright that holds the two booms. It's the support, it's the strength, it's what everything pulls off of when we're lifting pogies, when we're lifting 700-pound tuna fish. The 8-inch Schedule 40 mast is gonna be what gives everything its strength, and I need this piece of pipe to slide down over that 8-inch mast. The problem is the inside diameter of this pipe is smaller than the outside diameter of the mast. So I need to take this to a machine shop, and they're gonna put it in a lathe, hopefully, if all goes to plan, and we're actually gonna turn this down, and we're gonna take some of the inside of this pipe out, so that way the inside diameter is the exact right size, so it can slide down on over the mast. And then I'll show you what we're gonna build later out of this rain. Let's get this piece of pipe to the machine shop, see if we can make the inside diameter bigger than it is now. It's a monster. Next stop, Ron Thomas's.
Pretty good, yo. I don't know if this is a quick job or a miserable job or what it is, but I want to be able to slide that down on over a piece of Schedule 40 8-inch aluminum. So it needs to be, the inside of it needs to be turned out. Is that
the whole way?
We can cut it in pieces if we don't want to do the whole thing. Like 2 8-inch pieces and 2 3-inch pieces. I don't know if I didn't know if it'd be easier to do it in one piece or if it'd be easier to cut it.
Okay, no, but you need the whole thing. Do you got the other piece?
No, I don't, but I know that it's 8 5/8 or it's 8.625.
All right, that's 8 5/8.
Yep.
Just about 8.5 right now.
Ron Thomas is a local machine shop that has been a staple for lobster boat builds in our area for many, many years. They've been there a long time, and recently a guy named John purchased it. John's a really cool, smart guy. I can't remember the name of their actual title. What are they, a machinist? Machinist, I suppose? Anyway, he's run machine shops his whole life. Very smart guy. He builds parts for, hopefully this isn't confidential, I don't think it is, I'll have to ask him, but he builds parts for the Black Hawk helicopters, and he actually makes parts as well for SpaceX Starship. He's got Starship parts laying in the machine shop and Black Hawk helicopter parts, so we'll check them out while we're here as well. They do a bunch of cool work. For me, turning out the inside of this pipe would be a very tricky task. For these guys, I'm hoping it's something they can just do in a few minutes. John is the one who actually built the steering system that is going in the new boat. John partnered with Lonnie's Hydraulics, who is experts in hydraulics, to build this hydraulic steering system. It's a state-of-the-art steering system. We've already shown it a little bit. We're going to show it more coming very soon. We're actually getting close to installing it for the final time. When we install it, we'll probably have John come over to the shop and tell us all about the steering system. We'll meet him and talk to him, and he can tell us what's so cool about the steering system, because there is a lot cool about it. All right, so this big pipe is going to be the mast, and this is what's going to be used to lift everything into the boat, hopefully some big tuna fish. We're welding some arms onto it to mount Durabright lights, antennas, running lights, a bunch of different stuff needs to get mounted up onto the roof for the electronics. So these arms will serve as mounting places, and they also have a pretty cool look on top of the boat. So we first need to cut rounds into them, so that way they'll fit flush up against the mast so we can weld them in. Then we're gonna cut some angles on the face of them, so they're not just square boxes up on the roof. So that way they have a little taper to them, a little shape. They look like they belong on the boat. We built 4 or 5 of these over the years. Usually we just chuck them together. We haven't built one for a boat quite as fancy as we currently on. We might be a little underqualified for this one, but we're gonna take a little extra time. We're gonna measure 3 times and cut once. Probably still get it wrong. We're gonna try to make it look as good as we can, and I would love to paint it. So if anybody has any suggestions or recommendations on how to paint aluminum, I've never done it. Probably powder coating or something, I'm not sure. Or come paint it for us, yeah. There's also gonna be an aluminum tailgate on the back of the boat that I'd like to paint black as well. So hopefully we have 2 big aluminum pieces that need to get painted black somehow. So suggestions on how to paint aluminum, leave them in the comments. Or if you can come paint it for us, that would be even better.
You gotta clean everything up. You know, we
try to make it look good.
Together.
Yeah. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, it must be.
Push down. Now save that piece.
That's almost perfect. Just touch it with the grinder. Yeah. That's awesome. You didn't even that cut just like a piece of wood. That's sweet.
It says it'll do stainless, the new blade I got coming. After I seen Mike Garrish, I was like, I gotta have one of them.
That thing's awesome. Wicked. You wouldn't have done that with the plasma cutter, or I wouldn't have anyway.
No, I couldn't have done it with a regular skill saw either.
No, that's awesome. And it was quiet compared to a regular skill saw.
Now you want to try to fix that one?
That's what it would look like. Kind of. Something like that. With a cap on the end of it. Is it gonna look twisted?
No, I don't think so. Well,
With the cap on the end of it?
I think with the caps on it, it'll look alright.
Yeah. Try to get that one fit tight before we move on.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is
Square. A square.
right, it's gotta be you're pretty good.
It's actually balancing it too.
Yeah. We probably got to grind these right here.
Yeah, we are hit right there a little bit. We still got that marker.
Is that how you want it?
I don't know.
No.
Standing it up. Oh, I see. Yeah, hit that one.
Like that.
Yep. How does it look on the angle? Does it look like it faces around?
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Take a little bit on the other side and try
Take a
it.
little bit on this side, then we'll try it out. More right out here. Put more right here over here.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We could take a little more on this one. The other side's good. We could take a little bit more, the whole length of that one with the red marker on it. It's got red marker on it.
You got square.
You don't have much gap there.
But we're not even hitting there.
No, but it.
We're not hitting the belly.
For this to go down, this we have.
Right. The only place we're hitting though is right here and right here.
All right, well, a good start on the mast and boom. Everything looks good. We got some of the most miserable tasks, usually the most miserable tasks, done and out of the way first. Usually we're cutting that stuff with a regular skill saw and it's a racket and it sucks. It's miserable. But that little new metal cutting saw, it's slower RPM, I guess, and that thing is slick. It's got a metal blade in it. So we got all the miserable cuts done and out of the way. Now all that's left is to weld the thing together. We're gonna get a few more pieces, parts and pieces for some of the little things that I forgot to get. But tomorrow morning we're gonna hit it hard with the welder and it should start taking shape here pretty quick. All right, good morning. Time to weld. I actually got a list of things that I need to get. I gotta go back to Bangor to get a few things that I forgot to get. We need some heavier aluminum to build some of the mounting brackets for the pull master wenches that are gonna go on this. We need some heavier stuff to cap the top of this where the strong arms and the guy wires are going to attach and the booms are going to attach, where there's going to be a lot of load on the top of this, so we need to cap it with something extremely strong and make some very strong connection points for the top of this. I didn't get anything quite rugged enough for that, but I figured before I go to Bangor to get the rest of the list, I might as well get started, because I'm sure the list of the things that we need will grow as we get started here. I'm also going to stop at Ron Thomas's, where I think they got that big piece of pipe bored out.
Hey, your parts are all done.
Good enough. I'll be up shortly here to get them. Thanks a lot. That was Mike from Ron Thomas, and he said he got the pipe bored out. So he turned the inside of that pipe down to 8 3/4, and the outside of this pipe is 8 5/8. So we have an 1/8 of an inch gap, which leaves a 1/16 of an inch gap all the way around it, which should leave us with space to put grease in it. That's quite a bit of space for grease, but this pipe isn't perfectly round. That pipe isn't perfectly round, so we were afraid if we went too tight, it might catch, especially after we weld it. If it oblongs it at all, if we went too tight, it wouldn't be able to turn. So we left extra clearance, which means that it will have a little bit of slop in the swivel, but very little. And this thing's gonna turn very little in the course of its life. All it's gonna do is this, very little. One of them isn't gonna turn hardly at all, if ever. The other one is gonna turn very minimally. So a little bit of slop isn't the end of the world. Keep it greased, it should last forever. It should last longer than the alternative way of doing it.
I'm gonna start with just cleaning up the mast. I'm gonna sand the whole entire thing. For one, to clean it up for welding. And two, I assume that it needs to be sanded anyway before we paint it. And it's a lot easier to sand it right now while there's nothing welded to it than it will be once we weld all of the attachments to it. So I'm gonna sand the entire mast up, weld the arms on, and come up with a list of things we need, go gather them up and come back and hopefully get this thing looking like something. So one thing I'm a little nervous about is we had a little miscommunication between me and the metal shop that was cutting this material and bending this material. They actually bent these arms. These came out of a flat piece of metal. They bent the sides in them so that way I didn't have to weld all the way across these. And I placed this order over the phone since they live an hour away. I probably should have just drove up to make sure they were exactly what I was looking for, since each one of these arms is $300 a piece. Hindsight's 20/20 though, but we had a little miscommunication because when I ordered them, I wanted 2 inches of angle across these channels. Basically what they did was make custom sized channel aluminum out of flat bar by bending it. That's what I wanted on the front channel leg and the back channel leg also. But the miscommunication, no fault of theirs, it was just, I should have explained it better, I suppose. They made a 5-inch leg on the front and a 3-inch leg on the back, instead of making both legs the same with an angle across the face of them. So it wasn't the end of the world. We cut the angle in the front one that I wanted, but the only trouble is there's not enough depth in the back one to cut the angle that I wanted. You can see what I'm talking about here. This is the back channel leg. This is the front channel leg. Plan was for the back and the front to look like this one does. You can see this one comes from 3 or 4 inches here, and it gets deeper the farther it goes in. Just kind of gives it a nice look rather than a square box. For a leg, it gives it a nice taper. This end will be capped. The plan was for this back one to follow that same angle down to here, but it didn't work out that way. So now I'm thinking, I like the angle on the front one, of course. I might just leave the back the way it is, but I'm nervous it may look twisted. So we're gonna weld them on here, cap the ends, stand it up outside and take a look at it and see what it looks like. And if they look twisted at all, I could take these pieces that I cut out of the top and add them onto the bottom and weld them in place. And then it would look like I planned it. Then we would just have to use Bondo or something on the outside before we paint it to make it look smooth. But I don't know. I don't hate this look, actually. I don't think this will look terrible, as long as it doesn't look twisted, because this is, again, facing the stern of the boat. The stern of the boat and the bow of the boat look entirely different, so there's no reason for them to be symmetrical. I don't think this will look bad. And then, of course, there'll be a bunch of lights and stuff mounted on these, so I don't think it'll look terrible. It might actually look better, give it a unique look, as long as they don't look twisted, which you can kind of see in the camera right here, that they do kind of look twisted already. But I don't know. We won't know till we get it done. We're gonna weld them on here. I should just go to Bangor and make new ones of these. But for $300 a piece, it'd be nice to save them. But watch me make an ugly mast and boom over $1,200 worth of aluminum. But here goes nothing.
take those out enough with a sander. You'll still see them if you're up close, but never, I don't think enough to matter.
No, I don't think so. You painted a couple coats. You put the primer on it?
Yeah, we probably might sand it.
You don't need to. If you, that self-etching primer? Oh, you mean the crease? I thought
Yeah,
you meant,
these.
yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
prime it and then scuff it again,
Yep.
you might take out a little
Just
bit more
them
of it.
seams.
Right. I don't think you'll be able to see it much though.
Not with a couple coats. A coat of primer and a coat of paint, you won't see it.
Maybe if you're right up close.
What have you got on the 80?
Yeah.
We are probably going about this the wrong way, so don't make fun, but we gotta try to find the center line down the length of this thing. So hopefully the concrete floor is straight. If it is, we're gonna eyeball the center. A lot of this is probably just gonna be eyeballed anyway. But we want to, actually there's a center line right there, you see it? That looks straight, don't it?
Are you on that?
It's right there, ain't it? Is that, did I hit it right there?
Yeah, I'm right square, and I'm right.
I can see yours. Is mine on the mark?
Yep.
So if we draw a line there and we just make sure all of them.
Hey, you can see it.
Yeah. I wonder if we could just tick it every once in a while. Somebody made a line for us already. Sweet. We mostly only need it anyway, right where we're gonna be
Yeah.
welding them on, which is gonna be 54 to the top. 54 to the top of this one. And then 45 down to the top of this one. So those are the tops. 45 up from this one. Here you go. That's the top of that one, yeah. So we'll try to put this one on first. It might not look bad if they're angled back a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than forward. That wouldn't be much, but
It'd be enough to make it
it'd be
so it
something. Didn't look forward.
It's better that way.
Better that way than
the
straight or the wrong
It's
way.
better. Yes, I know you're here. Yeah, it's fitting, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe just. It's gonna be kind of a hard job to hold it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's gotta be held up.
It'd be better if that end was. No, you want that pretty square.
I guess just try to hold it in place and then tack it, and then we'll square it all up, make sure it's good. This is the most I've ever prepared for a weld in my life.
Tack it here and on the inside.
Yep.
I'll tack it right here first and then we'll square it up again.
Yep.
That did not burn in there very good. Yeah, okay, so these are angled towards the stern just a whisker. They should both be angled towards the stern just a little bit. And then we'll just have to kind of do the same with the top. Well, you're gonna try to bend, you're gonna hold it down while I tack it?
Good? Mm-hmm. Can you put any more weight on it or no? Right there, if you can sit still for a second.
Ain't that wire catching? Oh, this one's nice and tight. That one fits in there good. Alright, let me tack it a little stronger.
Well, as much as I would like to stay and keep working on that thing, once you get started on something like that, it's addicting to keep working on it until it's finished. But everybody closes for the weekend early, so I got to get to town to get what we need for the supplies to finish it so we can finish it over the weekend. I gotta get enough aluminum to make the base plate, which is the actual big plate that it translates all the load down onto the roof. That needs to be big and it needs to be rugged. If not, you hear stories back in the day of like older rigs pushing mast down through the roof, which would be very bad. Now we're overkill on the fiberglass. Wesmac builds the roof of the boat very strong, so we're overkill there. We're also going to be very overkill with the base plate, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. But we're going to build it all very overkill, just because this is not something that you want to be underkill on. There's a lot of weight being lifted with it, people working underneath it. So it's going to be built to lift like probably 20 times what we're actually going to be lifting with it, which is unfortunate to put that much weight up on the roof because it makes the boat roll more. I would rather be safe and roll a little bit than have something go wrong. I also need to stop at Ron Thomas's, the shop. They got all the pieces turned down to make the swivel parts out of. I'm excited to set those on there and see what they look like, because I think that's going to be cool. So anyway, headed shopping, then we're going back to the shop first thing in the morning to keep welding.
Still making helicopter parts?
There he is!
John, how are you? I gotta introduce you to the camera. I talked about you earlier. It was all good things.
You sure?
Yeah. I left out the bad stuff. Those look awesome.
I can't take credit for that. Like I said, I can only be the good-looking guy on the camera.
Okay.
I can't be the guy
Okay.
making the part.
Okay.
Yeah, that's up to Mike. Yeah.
Looks good. I think it's gonna work perfectly. Thank you.
The outside isn't round, as you know. They
Yeah.
vary.
Yep.
So
All right, I gotta head back up to the metal shop and grab some more material. I didn't get quite everything I needed. I thought I did. No matter how many times you go over the list, you always forget stuff. So I'm gonna run up to the local shop and grab a little bit more aluminum and then come back and hopefully get this thing coming together. 'Cause I've learned a lot throughout this boat building process. And one thing I have learned that I didn't expect to, I knew the boat build would be hard and tough work, but I didn't realize how like tired I would be, both physically and mentally from the boat build. It's pretty exhausting, and I'm pretty used to physical work on the boat, 10, 12, 14-hour days, but I guess those certain muscles are trained for those days because I don't even really feel it on boat days. But working on the lobster boat, cement floors, brutal. I feel like I've been in a fight with a gorilla at the end of a day working on the boat, climbing around in tight spaces. I guess I'm using different muscles in the boat building days as I do the lobstering days, because I feel it at the end of the day. And one thing I've noticed throughout this build is that if I don't get good quality sleep the night before or the day after a big project, I really start to feel it and the effects really start to compound. So I have actively been trying to get my sleep on a better schedule and get better sleep, especially after long days. And that's why I'm excited about today's sponsor and the new partner of the channel, Helix Sleep. Now, I'm not somebody who overthinks mattresses. I could sleep on just about anything, from tents in the woods or just on the moss in the woods. Pretty much just buy a mattress and call it good. But I took Helix's sleep quiz. They have a quiz on their website and it matches you to a mattress. And in just a few minutes, they matched me to a mattress. And that was it. It was very simple. And I have noticed such a big difference in the quality of my sleep. My mattress that I was on was like 10 years old, 12 years old, and I never really paid too much attention to it. And I gotta say that I'm super impressed with the mattress that they sent. I think the biggest improvement that I noticed is that I just sleep deeper. I'm not waking up as much throughout the night, tossing and turning, and I do feel better the next day. I'm not crashing by noontime, feeling exhausted, ready for a nap. I actually feel energized and ready to work. And when you're doing physical stuff all day, like building a boat, it really improves how much you're able to get done in a day. Not just physically, but also having your mind rested and fueled for the day. You think much clearer, you remember things much better. Everything works much better when you're performing on a rested brain and body. They also sent me their new cooling pillow, which again, never really thought too much about my pillow, but that has also been part of what has improved my sleep quality. It stays cool and you can adjust it depending on how you like to sleep, and I've just noticed less stiffness when I wake up. Helix is an awesome company who understands they're not just trying to sell mattresses to make money. They understand if they can actually improve people's quality of sleep, then word of mouth will speak for themselves, and that will sell them more mattresses than anything. Helix actually did a sleep study, and 82% of the participants saw an increase in their deep sleep. All Helix mattresses come with a lifetime warranty, and they come with a 120-day trial window. So you have 120 days to try it out. Make sure it's the right mattress for you. If for some reason you're not satisfied with it, you can send it back, exchange it, get a different one. And again, that truly shows that Helix is not in the business of making money on mattresses. They're in the business of improving your quality of sleep. You guys can head on over to helixsleep.com/Jacob Knowles or use the link in the description to take advantage of their spring sale that they have going on, and you can save 20% off site-wide. Thank you to Helix Sleep for sponsoring today's video and being a new partner of the channel. All right, back to work. We're gonna get this aluminum. All right, good morning. I believe I've got everything gathered up that I need to finish the mast and booms, hopefully. I'm sure we're gonna figure out what I forgot once we get going, but First, I've got another delivery of gel coat from Total Boat. We're gonna run it over to the shop and drop it off so they have it over there because they're still busy working on the boat while I work on the mast and booms. So we'll get a little sneak peek of what they've been working on, drop off the gel coat, and head back out to the other shop and continue building the mast and the booms. Also, shout out to Total Boat for hooking us up with so much gel coat. They've been sending gel coat steady to paint the boat, and I think they're actually gonna come up and help us paint the bottom of the boat here pretty soon. They've been an awesome company to work with. Thank you, Total Boat. I believe that they are gel coating. I think they finished gel coating probably up forward. I think that got the third coat on it. I think that this is black gel coat here. The black is going to be used to kind of do some borders and accents and break up the white so it's not just one big white box room. They have been busy. They've been laying a lot of gel coat. Thank you to Total Boat for sending us all the gel coat. Not only have they been sending all the gel coat that we need to paint the boat, but they've also just been good to talk to. They are experts in this stuff. They're nice to bounce some questions off of them as we go. I also got set up with them like an affiliate program where I've got their products on my online store now. It's just jacobknowles.com. It's where my merch is and stuff. And if you guys need to buy any paint, you can head right over there and purchase it. Again, it's an affiliate link, so it'll help support the boat building. They are much more than just a paint company. So if you guys are looking to do some painting anywhere, you might as well head on over to jacobknowles.com and grab your supplies. It looks like they've been cleaning the shop. We kind of made a mess of the shop. We got busy cutting all the parts out of the boat in the last video. We're just heaving them over the side. Ooh, the washboards are getting closed in. They look awesome. It just makes it easier to clean it. If you don't close the washboards in, you gotta reach up under that washboard and try to clean, and it's just a hard place to get to with a scrub brush. You gotta basically lay down on your back to get to it. At least this is a smoother, flatter surface where you can clean. Pretty soon we'll actually be able to start building the rails. These are gonna be stainless steel, like fence post rails. Similar to my boat now, just more rugged. It just makes a nice smooth working space to slide the traps up and down. They are also smoothing all the bolts. If you remember all the bolts on the back side of the hauling patch, they kind of make a mess on the backside, and we need to glass them all so that there's no chance of them ever leaking. Lots and lots of fiberglass, Hollandac, and Polyfair to try to make this surface smooth again. So there's no evidence that there's 240 bolts sticking through here. If not, we're gonna have a jagged surface. This looks like a lot of work because all of those voids in between all of those nuts and bolts has to get filled and brought out to the level of the nuts. So that way it can be faired in and be smooth again to look right. Oh, the hydraulic tank is mounted. That's probably the first step towards hooking up the components. Lots of electrical and lots of hydraulics need to be hooked up in this thing. Tanks are all gel coated. Ooh-wee. Oh, I think they said they got the generator mounted down. And down forward, I think it's done. Of course, I don't have a flashlight. You'll have to take my word for it. It looks nice. Well, it looks like they've been doing a little bit of polyfairing in the wheelhouse. Getting ready to turn this white. This is gonna be pretty cool when this turns white. All right, maybe we'll check back in later, periodically throughout this video, and get some boat updates. See what they're up to. For now, I'm gonna get back to the other shop and get welding. I'm really excited to put those swivel rings. I got them from Ron Thomas yesterday. I'm excited to slide those down over and kind of visualize what this idea is gonna, how functional it's actually gonna be. We should have a pretty good idea of how it's gonna work just simply by sliding those rings down over and turning them by hand. Granted, when the booms are on them, they'll have a lot more load on them, but we'll be able to tell how much play they're gonna have and if they're gonna need to be greased, if we're gonna need to seal them and grease them, or maybe they'll be fine just as is. So, let's get to work. All right, the moment of truth. Here they are in their glory. Ron Thomas has bored the inside of them out. So this is supposed to be 9 3/4. That is 9 5/8. So there's a 1/16 of an inch gap all the way around this. They're hardly ever going to spin. They're gonna spin very little. The main boom, the big one, that's gonna be used for pulling the net in, is pretty much gonna be stationary. It's never really gonna move. It'll be nice to have the option to be able to move it, but it's pretty much gonna be in one spot most of the time. The small boom is the one that we use for taking the fish out of the net, and once a week, it does this like 50 times. It's the lifetime rotations of this thing are gonna be basically very, very little. So they actually said that I probably don't need to grease it at all, since it's gonna have such little rotations in its life. So we're gonna put them on here. Maybe I won't grease it because, let's be honest, even if I put grease fittings on it, how often am I actually gonna grease it? This one is the cap on the top. The thing is the outside of this pipe is not perfectly round. If you were to check it at a microscopic level, it's not perfect. This is perfectly round because it was turned out on a lathe. Hopefully this isn't too far off. All right. Ooh, there's some play there. A 16th inch is plenty. Maybe we should have gone smaller than a 16th. At least this one is 8 inches long, so the play won't be felt quite as much. All right, there's that one. There's that one. Another thing too that this does is it doubles up the wall thickness of where the boom pushes into the mast. So where the booms push in is where all the load hits the mast. Now this is twice as thick as it was. And now that I look at it, it doesn't really matter if there's play in this, because it's always gonna be pushing in. So the slop will always be on the back side, the gap. This is gonna be tight on this side and the booms will turn. And the extra clearance, the gap that's inside, will always be on the back side of the boom. I think that's gonna work out just fine. So this one is gonna get welded. This will be a cap. This will be the bottom boom, big boom. This will be the top boom. This will be another cap. The booms will be able to turn. So we gotta weld the hitches, the goosenecks right here. Don't that move when you weld it.
Yeah.
Good, isn't it? Welding good.
Those ones are 46, so I'll go 43. It'll be 3 inches. It should leave enough room.
Tip the very end of it, but if you take your saw, I'll grind it.
Grinder.
I don't think it's crooked enough to ever see it. It is.
You know what we ought to do? Get it all done, lay it up on the tables, get some Bondo, if you're gonna powder coat that, fill them pole, and sand them right out, the weld, so that it's all, looks just like this.
Yeah.
Wouldn't take nothing to fill them pole, Bondo.
Yeah.
Piece of sandpaper. Don't tell me this, I want to Bondo the seam.
All right, all the arms are welded on and they look good if you're selective on where you look at which welds. Some of the welds underneath, it's kind of a hard spot to get to it underneath. So some of those welds are not so pretty, but you can't really see those ones anyway. They're not structural either. These things really don't have much strain on them. They're just gonna hold lights and antennas and all kinds of stuff. So these welds out here are more than enough to hold it, and for the most part they come out good. So now I'm gonna start working on the swivel, the base. That is cutting out, we're gonna have a 2 foot by 2 foot square base. There's gonna be an aluminum section and a stainless section. They're gonna bolt together to form a watertight seal so it can't leak water down into the wheelhouse through the roof. It's a little bit complicated to try to explain right now, but it'll make sense as we go. I am gonna start building the gooseneck hitches where the booms are gonna attach to these swivels. Here's the stainless steel base plate that will get bolted to the roof. There'll be a water dam pipe welded right here, so no water can leak down through. This is where all the wires will come up through to go to all the lights and all the antennas. Then the aluminum plate will get set right down on top of it. It's gonna be slick. I gotta knock these corners off for the boom angles to clear. Something like that. Or won't really know until we build the booms.
I guess as long as these tongues are long enough, they'll clear.
They will.
So just leave it?
I left mine square,
Leave it like that.
but I'm not sure that's out far enough. Yeah.
Think it'll be all right? And then as long as these are long enough, they'll clear. Yeah, I think that'll work. The drill hole can go right dead center. Oh, and you'll want to drill these out before we put these on. I guess this is just aluminum. All right. The original plan for the gussets aren't going to work because the boom angle is going to hit the gussets. If we gusset here, it's not going to clear. Probably doing the female on this side, unfortunately, is going to be the best bet. Having it up top like that will give me more boom clearance too. Something like that. All right, about to weld the first gooseneck together. The moment of truth, the moment that I'm a little worried about. I'm afraid that when I put all these welds in, it's gonna make this outside swivel ring oval. It's gonna warp it. It's not gonna allow it to spin. Hopefully that's not the case. I'm gonna weld it, and hopefully after I'm done welding it will still turn. Does that look from your eyeball? Alright, I'm just gonna try to do like maybe 1 inch to a time or something. Try to keep it from warping, or you don't think it's gonna warp. I hope you're right.
I say, you weld that one building.
Paul said if it does warp, we could cut a relief crack in it and move it and then weld the crack back in. But I'll try a little bit to a time and see what it does. Didn't bother it so far. I think it's gonna be alright. Yeah, I think it's gonna be okay. Nice. Crap. What's wrong? Welded that on backwards, the holes in a lot farther. It was supposed to go this way, but I just have to round the corner. This thing is rugged. I like that design. All right, the first gooseneck is on and it worked. It still spins. It's kind of hot, but it still spins. It's free and it came out good. I think it's going to work out perfectly. Might grease it just to be safe. We had to make the top gusset a little bit smaller than the bottom gusset because where the boom gets bolted on will be right here. There'll be a piece on each side. It'll get bolted onto that hole. And then when the boom angle comes up, this gusset on the top had to be smaller. If not, this boom would hit it. So that's as steep as the boom will be able to go before it hits the gusset. And then down, that's as far as it'll be able to go. It should work out perfect. Okay, I got that right? All right, both the gooseneck swivels are on and done. They both work and they look awesome. I think it's gonna work out perfectly. We now can cap the bottom, so we're gonna weld the aluminum base 2 foot square
right to the base. We got to drill a hole in it first to allow the wires a place to go up to all the lights, the radars, and all the electronics on the top of the mast. After we cut a hole in the aluminum, we'll weld the base on. We also need a cap up here, a ring. It's gonna go on the top because it doesn't matter how strong any of this is, if we don't have a strong place to attach wires and supports and guy poles and strong arms, we need something really strong up here to hold this mast up because there's gonna be a lot of pressure trying to pull it over. So we're gonna make a 3-inch ring all the way around the top of this as a place to attach all the guy poles and all the wires to hold it upright.
So Dad gathered up this milling machine. Neither one of us got any idea how to use it. In theory, we can cut out the holes that we need to cut out with it. We're gonna find
I
out.
think this
We think.
goes in here. Does it have to go all the way through to see it's round on the end?
It looks sketchy to me.
I don't think that's gonna work, because
Is it gonna
that's
fly
not gonna go
out?
down through there.
Right, that's what I was
It's gonna
wondering.
hit up in here
Before
before.
it goes down through.
I got some more time. Here.
I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna go wide open. It's
No,
gonna
I
fit.
ain't. I'm gonna go slow.
That ain't variable speed. You're gonna kill yourself. Let me take a turn. What?
That ain't cutting what this.
That can be welded on.
Yep.
Leave it down. We just gotta hold. All right. Yep. Stand right up.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice welding.
That is perfect.
Look at nailing that. Holy crap.
This would never leak. We don't even necessarily need the water dam. I guess you do, because it leaks down through here.
Yeah.
But that weld's never gonna leak because it's gonna have 2 of them.
Yeah.
All right, good progress. The base plate is on and welded. The first weld. The beauty in this setup is that it's gonna get welded twice. This weld right here is probably the one that has the most strain out of any of this on here. Both of these booms are gonna be pushing right into the base of this mast. Where this mast connects to the base plate is where all the strain is gonna be, right in here, pushing sideways. So a lot of times people will gusset these to add more strength, but this ring, we grinded the edge out to allow room for this weld. This ring is gonna get slid in, and then the whole mast is gonna get welded a second time. It'll be double thickness, 2 3/8, so 3/4 inch holding the bottom of this on. Then both the swivels slide down to that. Well, it's starting to look like something. Looks different than it did yesterday morning when we started anyway. Everything is turning out extremely well. The only thing about this thing that I'm a little bit bummed out about is how heavy it ended up being. The thing is extremely heavy, and when I started drawing this up, I kind of wanted to make it as light as possible because the one on my current boat is really heavy, and it just makes the boat roll more. But with that said, my new boat is a lot larger than my current boat, and I also have those hard chines that help stop the roll on the new boat. And this mast is not too much heavier, if it's any heavier, than the one that's on my current boat. So I should feel it less than I do currently. Also, there's a couple other 50-foot boats that I looked at before building this. Kind of copied their ideas. A little different, but it doesn't weigh any different. So it's working fine on those 50-foot boats in the grand scheme of things. It feels like a lot to us, but to that boat, hopefully it won't be too much. On the flip side of that weight, it is nice extra added safety. Everything is built extremely overkill for what we're gonna be lifting. This thing could probably lift, I would like to know actually. I don't know how to do those calculations. Maybe I could like ChatGPT some rough calculations. Obviously it wouldn't give me an exact answer, but maybe it could give me some kind of ballpark idea. I bet this thing could lift a ton of weight. Failure point will certainly be in the booms, I think, not the mast. This mast is Gonna be very strong. It should not fail. I should not say that because it's going on a boat. All right, so next on the list of things to do is we need to figure out how to build the attachment points for the top, because while the mast is strong and stout, it's only strong and as stout as what's holding it up. It needs some poles, some support poles, some support wires to stand it and hold it up when it's being pulled on. Because when we try to lift a barrel of fish, that barrel of fish is going to be trying to pull the mast over, and all that load is going to go onto the poles, which are going to be attached to the top. So we need something equally as strong as the mast is up here at the top. So we're thinking if we could cut out like a round donut, I suppose, with a big center in it. So basically we make a 3-inch lip all the way around. Then we can gusset the corners, build little triangle gussets in the corners, and then we can attach onto that ring any direction we want, and then we can attach the strong arm poles right directly into the gussets. I think it's a pretty good design. It'll be very strong because the ring will be wrapped around the entire mast. So in order to pull it off, I guess I don't even know how you'd pull it off. You'd have to rip the holes out of the ring where it's attached to. So I like that option because it gives us the ability to attach in at any angle, any direction we want. Now we just gotta figure out how to cut this donut out. This is the start of the donut here. We need to basically somehow cut a circle around this square. And then we need to cut another circle inside of it to allow it to slide on over the pipe. The outside cut needs to be pretty nice. It needs to be a pretty smooth cut because it's going to be visible from the outside. All right, let's get to work. Now how do we cut it? Very good.
But you can't really get a 14-inch circle.
Well, that's pretty near what we need. Because we're gonna gusset this on the 45s, we said. And we were thinking we could go into the gussets with the strong arms.
Yeah.
But we could also just turn the gussets, turn the ends of the strong arms sideways, and we could go right into the actual plate itself too.
Yeah.
As long as you're near the gussets.
Yeah, that probably work.
Was it? That's pretty good already.
Yeah. That's usually how we leave.
Oh yeah. Ron who?
Wouldn't he be laughing?
Just remember, you're doing this right in the middle of Fenway Park right now.
2 Fenway Park.
You got 2 Fenway Parks.
Did you say
You're
one?
sitting right on home plate, right on the pitcher's
I went
mound.
home and told Nikki, I said,
Right on the
"You
pitcher's
said 2
mound.
Fenway Parks."
All right, I think that looks
Well, let's let me
legit.
stand and let's just see if it'll leave me.
Why don't you just
Go
flick-
without
flick
water.
it
That's
over?
what I'm on. That's a lot better than we had yesterday.
What is this?
Oh, this
one?
goes up. I told you I didn't know what I'm doing. I told you. You crank handle it too.
Oh, that's as far as it goes. I think we can do it by hand.
No. No.
You don't turn metal by hand?
No.
Chance to get right under the chin?
Yeah.
Something come loose.
I see something loose.
All right, well, I had to run for a couple hours to an Easter egg hunt with the family, but Dad, thank you, Dad. That looks good. Came out perfect. Fenway Park is proud of you.
Just like you done it, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it any different myself.
Well, I'm not fired.
So there is the top cap right there. Now we're gonna gusset it. We're gonna build some support gussets that are gonna, for one, add more strength to it, but 2, they're gonna be connection points for the strong arm poles that are gonna hold the thing upright. Looks good, love it.
I think that looked rugged up there.
I like it.
Yeah, mill that down.
Yep.
Like you said, you'll see a little bit of the bottoms of them, and you'll see the front and back ones.
I like it. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
I think.
It'll be rugged.
Perfect. So all you do is eyeball them up.
There's going to be 3 pretty close together on the back and 3 pretty close together on the front.
All right, we are nearing standing it up for the first time and getting a look at it. Everything is welded together. We need to make one more top cap. The Wasp has an antenna on it. The Wasp is the transducer that maps the bottom, and it shoots a wide beam. So when the boat rolls, that wide beam becomes inaccurate because the boat's no longer level. So the wide angle becomes off. So the Wasp needs to know what angle roll the boat is at, so that way it can cancel it inside the software. So there's an antenna that needs to sit right up here on the top to keep track of a bunch of stuff, a bunch of data, roll being one of them. So we're gonna make a cap to seal the top of this so no rainwater can go in, but it's also gonna be the mounting surface for the Wasp antenna and maybe even Starlink. I don't know where Starlink's going yet, but it's looking like something. It's strong. I think you could lift a pickup truck with this thing. So this is facing the front of the boat here. So there'll be strong arms coming off of here. Strong arms of the aluminum pipe over there. We got to build those next. They'll come off at a 45-degree angle and run down and bolt into the roof. And then a guy wire for the middle will go down to the bow. And then the same on the back. Strong arms and a spot to hook booms up on the back. So there's plenty of attachment points up here on the top, which is nice. The one I currently have, my options at the top are pretty limited on where I can hook into it and have confidence and strength. There's plenty of room up here to hook in and have some meat. The bottom is done and welded together. The swivels work good. We're gonna drill and put grease fittings in them. Then maybe wrap this with rubber hose and clamp it to try to trap some of the grease in and keep some of the water out. Dad's got a souvenir from the past. My great-grandfather's bilge pump to his commercial fishing boat. He used to do everything, didn't he? Yeah. Lobsters, shrimp.
Fish drain. He was a hot one.
That's his bilge pump. Holy cow, you man in it?
Wow. Look at where he's got his leather nailed on the end of it.
Hold on, before we haul this next one, I gotta go pump her out.
That's what they do.
You're gonna do it to both sides or just one?
Both sides. Got a hole in those.
So 8 and 5/8. So I want to go 10 and 5/8. Yeah, nice. That'll work. I think so. It'd probably look fine too if we just rounded the corners.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Do you want to leave it out by here enough to put your antenna?
That's what I'm wondering. Well, we don't even need to go all the way, but just notch the pipe into it.
Yeah, just go where you want it and we'll notch in there.
Notch the pipe into it. Where's the hole? You already got the hole marked?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, do you think how's that angle look like going down on the roof? About right there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's fine. That angle's about right there. Is that in as far as you can get it?
Yep. See where the
Curiosity, just get an idea. We'll probably want to drill them to
right
fit.
where that is. Yeah, I will.
I think I'll just take like a paint can and round these corners, Dad, and call it good. Take like a paint can or whatever, a bucket, 5-gallon bucket, and round the corners.
All right, I think the mast is officially complete. We're gonna take it outside and stand it up and take a look at it and get our first impressions of it standing up. From here, you can tell, they do look a little funky from here, but it's fine. Looking up at it, you'll see it a little bit, but.
They're right all the way up to the wood, right on top of the wood. Right on the outside edge, yeah.
How's it look? Next step is these bad bammer jammers. Probably too long to reach. Can you run it right into the garage? Right over there by your TV. Yeah, right there. That one's going right there. And this one will be going like that. I think that's gonna be slick. I think it would look better if you went from nothing to here up to like whatever the max was gonna be, 4 inches.
In the middle will be your mast.
Say it's 4 in the middle.
All right, the mast is complete. Next step, probably in the next video, we'll be building the booms, assembling both booms and getting them hooked to the mast, and we'll probably bring it over to the shop and see it next to the boat for the first time, kind of get an idea what it's gonna look like on the boat. But all in all, really happy with how it came out. I think it's gonna work out good. Definitely gonna be plenty strong enough. And I love the hitches. Oh, we gotta drill grease fittings in them. That's our last step. All right, we'll see you next week. Also, there's my old honey, my very first truck. What was I, sophomore, freshman? That was my first big purchase. Was it $7,000 cash? I saved up, I had it in an envelope. I was a nervous, scared rat. 7,000 bucks in an envelope, cash money. Saved it up, lobstered, and bought my first truck. I was excited to have the truck, but I was bummed out to not have the 7,000 in the envelope.